Today on the Sales Life, Sales Edition. If you view sales as a job, well, buddy, it was nice knowing you. But if you'll view it as a lifestyle, dude, you got a wonderful career ahead of you. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about 4 ways that you can shift your perspective from looking at sales as a job, shift it into a lifestyle. Let's go with it. All right, TSL, let's get it. Welcome to another edition of the Sales Life, Sales Edition, devoted strictly to those in the sales profession who want to plus size their sales career. I'm so happy to be with you. If anyone that you know is in the sales profession, dude, you need to invite them. Tag them right here to come on board. And I know, man, you want to beat them. I know you want to win. So you want to keep this secret to yourself, man. But sharing, man, if you can share the love, man, what it's going to actually do is it's going to raise the bar a little bit. That's a whole nother episode, man, that we're going to talk about as far as one day. We're going to talk about why you should recruit people that are better than you in the sales profession. So again, this is strictly for those in the sales profession. I invite you to the Sales Life, which has to do with taking some of the principles, the skills that we learn by profession and apply those to your everyday life. But this one, this episode, this edition is all specialized just strictly in sales itself. So I want to riff off of a quote that you can see right down there on the ticker. And right down there on their ticker, it is from a book, man, that I reference to quite often. And it's by Mark Hunter, A Mind for Sales. If you have not gotten this book, I highly suggest that you get this book because it is one of those books that it's not one of those that condemn you. It's not one of those books that specific how-tos. They're really mindset editions is what they are. And so I often take Mark's book and I'll reference to it because the byline to it is Daily Habits and Practical Strategies for Sales Success, which is exactly we're going to talk about as well. So let's get right into it, man. Sales is not a job. It's a lifestyle. And when I first read this, man, I was actually going to go a different route. But the more I started writing these thoughts out, man, I said, you know what? I'm going to stick right here. Because many times, man, we look at or we think of sales as a job. But see, if you think of sales as a job, what's going to happen is you're going to end up out of the business. You're not going to last. Because a job, let me define what a job is. A job is a specific task done as a routine for an agreed price. Think of a cashier. See, if you work in register 1, ain't nobody on register 1 gonna upsell me for the Mike and Ike's. It's an agreed price. You're gonna stand at this register. You're gonna make sure these people get checked out, and I'm gonna pay you X amount per hour. That's a job. That's what a job is. But there is no agreement on price with sales, man. It's unlimited. There is no ceiling, but bro, there is no floor either. And that's the wonderful and intriguing thing about the sales profession itself. So because sales is unlimited, because there is no agreed price, you have to view it instead, man, as a lifestyle. And a lifestyle isn't a result. See, many times, dude, when I think about a lifestyle, I think about somebody that's laying on a yacht, right? And they got a bottle of champagne and the blue ocean, and you're just laying out there on the deck itself, right, man? That's the lifestyle. But the lifestyle is not the result itself. It's what goes into. It's the effort that you put into it. It's the gumbo, if you will, man. It's all the mixes that go into it to achieve a desired result. And so a lifestyle, man, a lifestyle it's the habits, the attitudes, the taste, the moral standards to achieve an economic level. That's what a lifestyle is. So if you want to achieve a certain economic level, if you want the freedom to be able to travel wherever you want to, you want to live in a nice house, you want to do all these things. Well, dude, you got to get out of that perspective of thinking that sales is a job and instead incorporate that as a lifestyle. Dude, I'm a convict. I say that all the time. I am convicted. I am a lifetime sentenced salesperson forever. I will forever be in sales because what I'm interested in is I'm not interested in the same grind day in and day out. I'm interested in knowing in the fact that my potential continues to evolve, that I have the ability to change my economic status, that I don't have to live on the same street for the rest of my life if I don't want to. And if I want to go anywhere that I want to, what about it? Let's roll. And that's what it's all about, man. So the first thing is, we get to my little banners here so you can run along with me. First thing, man, sales is a lifestyle. Requires new habits. And dude, you ain't got no problem building habits. You got habits. They're just the wrong kind of habits. And so sales as a lifestyle with new habits require, well, think about what habits are. Habits are specific ways of doing things without even thinking. The problem with that is because you're not thinking about it, this is why you're getting the same, if not worse, results, because you've built in poor habits. To develop a different lifestyle requires new habits, which requires that rise and shine. You got to wake up. That means specifically, see, when you're developing habits at first, you want to go into automatic pilot mode. That is exactly what your mind is. Your mind is trying to search in patterns and it's trying to revert back to things that you've always done. But this is why you get what you've always gotten. This is why you get burned out, because you don't have new habits. You got to develop new habits, man. And those new habits are things that you are going to specifically stay awake, and it's things that you're going to have to steer the ship itself. Initially, until you can get to a part where you don't have to think anymore, where those habits are so excellent and so on point and so conducive in the lifestyle that I want to live, then I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to think about going outside to go run 5 miles. Do I sometimes not want to? Yes, quite often. But the habit is so ingrained in me that I do it without thinking. I don't have to have the habit anymore of saying, no, I don't want the Popeye's chicken. I don't have to have that habit anymore. I do it without even thinking now. So when people come and they say, hey, we just bought a big box of chicken. No, I'm good. That's the habit. I've built in that habit. I'm not going to do that. I pick my battles. Do I have meals that I like to lay up and eat my ass off? Absolutely. But I've got the habit, man, when I'm at work, dude, I am a trained machine. I'm here to sell. I'm not here to lay up and eat rice dressing and red beans as much as they are. It's a habit, and you got to change your habits. The problem why most people don't have better habits is because what's happening is they are letting their emotions steer the ship. And see, as long as the emotions are driving your bus, you're always going to have poor habits. To develop better habits, to develop sales as a lifestyle, means that the emotions are necessary, but the emotions get to ride your bus, bro. They don't get to drive your bus. And that is so, so key. Second one, man, let's move on. Sales as a lifestyle requires new attitudes. New attitudes, bro. And so it requires new attitudes. See, you can't have massive success and think poorly. It ain't never going to happen. So when you think the customers are all mooches, when you think your sales managers are all out of touch, they ain't sold anything in 4 pecan seasons, so they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, I could do their job without even showing up. You know, those kind of thinking, you know you do it. When you have the kind of thinking that all the inventory sucks, that the commercial sucks, that everything sucks, well, dude, it's no wonder that you have a bad month. No wonder, because you can't have a poor attitude and achieve excellent results. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And I know that you think that you're strong enough to, oh, I got this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Your attitude's got this. And as long as you have that kind of attitude, then you're going to go down the crapper, dude. You ain't never going to change things. So sales as a lifestyle requires new attitudes, man. Your attitudes, I'm not saying, dude, that I don't show up on some of my sales days and be mad at the world. Of course I do. But I have an awareness also that I need to adjust that attitude as well. Joshua Metcalf writes this, and I totally love that. Let me pull this up so you can see it. Joshua Metcalf writes that perspective is the only thing that can dramatically change the results without changing any of the facts. Dude, pause this, read this, eat this, because what a wonderful thing to know that I can change the results even when I can't change the facts. Oh my God. See, the fact is, some things are out of your control. The fact is, sometimes the ball won't bounce your way. And if you let your perspective go down to the result or go with the result, then, bro, you're going to always have a terrible job of sales. If you want to change sales into a lifestyle, then, bro, you got to constantly adjust your perspective. And your perspective can get away from you so super quick. And you think that you're on the right track. And you think that the way that you're thinking is specific. But if you're not getting the desired outcomes, read that right there. Where's my thumb? Right there. Perspective is the only thing that you can dramatically change the results without changing any of the facts. You want different results? Don't worry about the facts. Okay? Change the results. Lifestyle. That's what that is. All right, let's rock on. Your perspective. Perspective. Okay, so lifestyle requires new taste. Sales as lifestyle requires new taste. Dude, you got to get out of this chicken wing mentality. And many times, that's what we do our whole sales career. We have a chicken wing mentality. So that chicken wing mentality is this. Let me tell you what I did. Last night, I went out and ate good. All right. So I went out and ate good. And I went to a fine restaurant. And good morning, Zorm. How are you, sir? So what happened is there was, when I looked at the menu, nice tablecloths, all that. When I looked at the menu, nowhere on there was chicken wings. It wasn't on the menu. And many times when you first go to a fine dining restaurant, if you've never gone before, then it's all different. I don't know what this food is. I don't know what these sauces are. I don't know even how to pronounce it. And so what do? I'll have the steak and fries. And you got all these other wonderful taste and ingredients and just the whole, I mean, you can enlighten everything about it. Yet you revert back because these are the similar tastes that you've always had. And so, John, you got to change the taste buds, man. And the taste buds are right here. And so, see, many times you are selling with a chicken wing mentality. It's what you're doing. And so you're giving your customers the number 4 on the menu. Oh, you want the number 4? All right. And we want to do it as a transaction. If you want to transform your career from a job to a lifestyle, then you got to stop selling chicken wings. And that means, dude, that you're going to have to change your taste buds. That means that you're going to have to immerse yourself in new podcasts. What are some podcasts in sales that you listen to, man? Leave me your comments, man. I want to know because I want to change my taste buds. It means that you're going to have to read new books. You don't have it all. You don't know it all. And you know what? Even if you can get one sentence out of a book that will change everything in your life, you got to have new taste buds. And then that also means, dude, that you got to have new taste buds in connections that you form. You got to hang out, man, with fine dining people. You got to hang out with people who live sales as a lifestyle. You're hanging out with people who show up to the job. I got to go to the job today. That's what you're showing up for. And no wonder they're in your fish tank. You're in their fish tank. And you're all peeing in each other's fish tank. So no wonder you're getting the same results. Jeb Blount is a good one. That's a good one there too, John. Love Jeb. Love Jeb's work. Jeb's got a great podcast too. He's got great books. Even my buddy there, Patrick Tenney. Let's get Patrick up there on the up there. Patrick Tenney's been on Jeb's podcast as well. Patrick Tenney's got great books, man. That Unlocking Yes, the bonus round. We just talked about that. These are different ones, man. I'm hanging out with these guys, man. I'm hanging out with them because I'm tired of eating the same food, man. I want different foods. All right, let's move on. Where we at? So sales requires taste. Now, sales as a lifestyle requires moral standards. Dude, this goes without saying, but we got to go here. The moral standards, man. Let me tell you something. If you're doing bad, but you're getting good results, it's coming. Do not be deceived. Do not think that you can do wrong. Even though you're getting good results right now, it's going to catch up with you. Sales as a lifestyle requires moral standards. But here's the flip side of this. If you're doing wrong, yet you're achieving good results, it's coming for you. But here's the flip. If you're doing good, yet you're getting wrong, you're not getting the results that you want, that's coming for you too. And things are going to reach that tipping point. And because you keep your standards, you don't do what everybody else does. I get it that other people are getting away with it, but because this is not a job, and because you look at your sales career as a lifestyle and you maintain these moral standards, it's all good, man. It's all going to come your way. So let me ask you this as we jump off. The sales life, sales edition. What is sales as a lifestyle? What does that mean to you? Leave those in the comments below. And also, I'm going to queue up what we're going to talk about next time on the sales life. We're going to talk about habits. And one habit that is going to massively change your whole sales career is the habit of interruption. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me get that up. Let's get that up real quick. Boom. Be sure and hit the subscribe button. That way you can be alerted. Man, leave me your comments and your takeaways from that. And let's rock out with that. Persistence, focus, benchmarks. That's what it's all about, huh, Patrick Tenney? And I totally agree with you. And chime in, man. I'm just going to riff off of that. That's all. If that's all the content you want, man, you could jump off. But I just want to share some love with this. Sales is a craft, man. It is an absolute art. That's why I always say sales is an art. And it's the art form, Patrick, that is always changing. That's what I love about it, man. It's always changing. And I have the ability to continue to mold and shape my career. Dude, I'm about to go in. It's the last day of the month. I don't know what I'm walking into today. And that's the beautiful thing about it all. I have no clue. I don't know. But I get to make that art. I get to go in there with a blank canvas. Or sometimes the canvas is all jacked up. And somewhere in there, I see a masterpiece. John, what's happening, man? That's right, Zorn. You do have to show up every single day. Consistency is a big, big thing, isn't it, John? And so many times the consistency, I always say this, Zorn, that if you take care of the show up, then the show up will take care of you. Do your part, and just do it until is my time frame. That's something, man, that I always say. Until is my time frame. So if I do these things, if I keep showing up, then the show up's going to take care of me. I know always that it's going to come out. It is about the consistency. What else is sales as a lifestyle? Zorn says persistence, transparency, honesty. Always look to improve your client's business. You know, Zorn, John's all stuck in my head today. Zorn, isn't it interesting to know that and that was one thing that Mark Hunter's book really changed my perspective on, is that to know if you focus on being outcome related for your customer and not so it keeps you out of that me focus, right? And so many times, every time I need something from me, it never happens. Anytime, though, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to what the customer is actually saying and what is the solution that I can provide for them, dude, it's totally, totally different. Keith Miller says the most important thing you sell is yourself. Absolutely. Keith, if you've rocked out with me, man, most times when I end the sales life, the greatest sale that you will ever make is the sale you on you, because you're more than enough. I end with that, man, because that is something in my lowest, darkest moments, man. That is something that that I had to tell myself. I am the greatest sale. And I've got enough in the tank. And if I can be sold on me, then everything else is going to take care of itself. Zorn says, way to have sales as a lifestyle and to be outcome based for your customers is ask questions and then listen carefully. That's one thing, Zorn, that we don't do, right? We actually are waiting to speak. We may ask the question, but we already have an answer formulated. And so we lose that flexibility in being able to, that margin to be able to absorb what the customer is actually saying and then steering it from there. Many times, we just want to jam the customer into our ways of thinking. One book, and it's right back here. One book, dude, that was super good, and I did a podcast on the sales life, the regular sales life, was Matthew McConaughey's book. Bro, y'all need to get Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights, even if you don't like him as an actor. There's so many great principles in that book. But he says, and I know I'm going to butcher this up, he says the answers are in the questions. We always want specific outcomes, but we don't ask enough questions of ourselves. But also, if you want an answer to how you can change your whole sales career, how you can change it to a lifestyle, dude, you got to ask questions, and then you've got to be flexible and listen to what they're actually saying. Keep your questions coming. Your customer success leads you to success. Amen to that. Thanks, Nat. Appreciate you, brother. Smart March, Patrick Tenney says, stay in the present when listening. Amen to that. That is super, super important. What podcast, while we're waiting other people to, I got just a few more minutes that I can stay on before I got to go finish the month up. What else? What are some podcasts that you guys listen to in sales? Or what are some book recommendations that you would recommend too? And while you're doing that, these are ones that I keep up top. Of course, I gotta give a shout out to my brother Patrick Tenney, the bonus round. Be sure and connect with him. He's on the feed. I think he's on still right now. The bonus round, Unlocking Yes, and I've got his other one down there. It's somewhere in there. I have to dig up for it. Selling from the Heart. I just finished that one by Larry Levine. That's a good one, man. And I was when I walked in, because I listened to Larry and on his podcast and Daryl Amy, and I was thinking that it was going to be different, and it's really got it's got a little snarkiness to it, which I love. It's got a little razor blade reading in there. It makes you bleed a little bit. And so that's a good one also to I love that one. That's super good. Of course, my buddy Mike Weinberg, New Sales Simplified, and The Sales Truth too. That's another good one. What are some podcasts that you listen to? I'm just throwing books up here that I absolutely love. This is a book I was just talking about, Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey. Super good book. This is a book, dude, that you just constantly highlight itself. So if you're watching this on the replay, still get in on the conversation, because those of us who are in on this conversation and others who are watching this will actually they can see your comments. They can see your takes and your expertise in what you do and your insights. Super valuable stuff, man. So don't just hit the thumbs and move on, man. Leave your comments. Also, if you're watching this on the replay and you have some ideas as far as podcasts that we need to check out for our sales profession to change it into a lifestyle, Mike Weinberg's got a great podcast. Mark Hunter's got a great podcast. Jeb Blunt's got a great podcast. Anthony Inarano in the arena, I think he's still got the podcast. I'm saying that. I loved listening to his stuff. I'm not sure if he's still doing it or not. What's that? Sales Reinvented podcast. Thank you, Patrick. I have not listened to that one. So I will definitely check out that one. Any other ones? Negotiation Ninja podcast. Dude, that's right up my alley. Have to definitely check that one out. Patrick, you're gonna make me redo my whole podcast queue, dude. All right, what other ones? We got about one more minute, and then I got to go get ready. I got to go put my armor on so I can show up for work today. I'm delaying here because sometimes the feed's a little slower. All right, so we're going to recap real quick. We're going to walk through it, and then we're going to jump off here. To change sales as a lifestyle, to make it a lifestyle, no longer a job. Got a comment coming in. We'll jump in there in a second. Sales as a lifestyle requires new habits. It's going to require new attitudes. Remember this, in your attitude, perspective is the only thing that can dramatically change the results without changing any of the facts. Sales as a lifestyle requires new taste. Get out of that chicken wing mentality, huh, John? And the last one, sales as a lifestyle requires moral standards. If you're doing wrong, but you're getting the right results, it's coming for you. And if you're doing right, but you're not getting the right results, the wrong results, hang in there, dude. It's coming for you also. All right, two more, and then we're jumping off here. Patrick Tenney, Dan Jordan podcast. Check that one out. So we got Sales Reinvented podcast. You got Dan Jordan podcast. Zorn, what specific book on leadership do you have a specific one that bubbles up? Yeah, Mark Hunter, love his podcast too. Somebody tag Mark on here so that way he can know, man. We started this whole podcast, this whole episode for Mark Hunter. I'm gonna wait for you, Zorn, if you're still there. That way you can throw up and you'll end us. All right, appreciate it, Patrick. Rise and shine, Mark. That's my buddy there. I like Mark, man. All right. One of my favorites, Zoran says, Coach K. And, it's interesting, because Coach K is having a tough year. And it's really, really interesting. We always think that Coach K always gets the best of the best, but they've had to deal with a lot of different issues, especially with the pandemic and everything like that. I'm gonna have to check that out, Zorn. I have not read that book, Leading with the Heart, by Coach Mike Krzyzewski. And I will spell this for you. K. So, and it's interesting though, because, a lot of times when people are achieving massive success, yet it doesn't seem like that they're being tested. We'll keep that up, because we're talking about Coach K. And, then all of a sudden they hit, I say controversy, or they hit the skids for a season, or they're going through something. It's interesting to see, will they stay the course and improve it, or do they kind of mentally break down too? Or were things happening behind the scenes a long time ago? That's where I talk about the moral standards, where all of a sudden all that crap they were putting, I'm not talking about Coach K, but all they were putting out there, right, Zorn? They had this facade, and then all of a sudden it all caught up with them. Again, I'm not talking about Coach K. I love Coach K. But and what's interesting to watch him through this adversity is Coach K he's saying all the right things still. He's coaching them all. He's got enough in there. He's got the disciplines. Okay. He's got the right taste. He's evolving his game, and he realized, what? This is something that we're being super tested on. So what are we going to do to evolve on that? So lots of great information. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and giving your expertise on there. This show ain't for me, man. This show helps me, and I hope it helps you in return as well. If you would share this show with someone else and say, look, man, there's some great books, some great podcasts, and some great mindsets. You got somebody that's kind of burned out in the sales career. They're kind of kicking the can down the road, man. Tell them, dude, to check this out. Now, this episode also is going to be, because I know some people don't. I learn more so through the ears. I like podcasts. So my number one go-to is podcasts. Then I'll watch videos, because sometimes I get kind of distracted watching videos. And so the podcast makes I can still do things and listen to them at the same time. So this episode will actually go up, if you see right up there, my lens is backwards. The Sales Life podcast. There's two different ones. There's the Sales Life, which is devoted to help everybody in all walks of life apply some of the principles that we learn in sales, apply those to their everyday life, because selling is life is sales. And so there's 615 episodes. Some of them are sales related. Many times they're kind of the sales principles, but they bend them into life. And then we are going to rock out with the Sales Life podcast sales edition. So it'll be this episode, but we will upload it. I'll release it on Monday about this conversation here. So with that, man, keep plus sizing your game, your sales game. Thank you so much for the conversation that went on. I look forward to more of these. Be sure and hit the alert. So that way, when we do go live, that's one thing I wish LinkedIn would do is they would give you an alert button on that. Well, maybe they do. I'm not really sure, but I don't really get alerted too much. So hit the notifications so that way you know when we go live again, because I love the conversation, because I need to learn from you too. So thank you all who jumped on here. Zorn, you're going to take us out. He's selling the players on commitment, even during adversity. Absolutely. Yeah. And he's living the example, isn't he, Zorn? That's exactly what he's doing. So with that, remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is to sell you on you, because you're more than enough. Thank you all for jumping on here. We'll see you next time. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.